Hello everyone, this is Warpster77 tuning into another video, and today I wanted to offer you some tips and tricks on Phantom Forces or Core Evolved. The reason I call it Core Evolved is because it's kind of like a mix between Phantom Forces, but it's also changed greatly in aspects from Phantom Forces, because in Phantom Forces you needed less cooperation and it was more of a just run and gun. Core held more competitive streaks to it, and it needed more of a team function. I normally don't work in a team, but I do realize that I find myself relying on other people to more than other times than I would like to have in Core Evolved. But it's obviously not Core. Like, there's no way you could call that Core. So it's an evolvement of, and it's going to change even more rapidly. Like, you know what I talked about server size and how they're supposed to shrink? Well, I'm told they're growing to 48 and then 64 is their goal. It's like, the fuck? Basically, they want to turn it into a Battlefield remake, which I kind of don't like. One, because vehicles, I'm assuming, would be implemented, otherwise it's a giant sniper-ass field. Two, because they're adding 300 guns in total to it, and it's just no. Because that is so difficult to balance everything out. It's just chaotic beyond belief. Ugh. A game to be simple has classic weapons that you remember. Like in Core, you had the Lee, the Mosin, the PTRS, the STG, the Faggot 42, MP40, Thompson, Type 100. You know, memorable guns. And each gun had its own purpose. Phantom Forces is losing that to customization and optimization. And that is one of my biggest beefs with games nowadays. My camera died. Anyway, that's one of my biggest beefs with games nowadays is because their optimization and just level spending. That's why I don't play a whole lot of games on Roblox, is because it's a leveling system, and I don't really like those. Unless the level is just shown for playtime or whatever, like it doesn't hold a significance to it. I do like the idea that ranks unlock certain guns, but I also like more than that is the kills for the attachments. I love that idea. The ranks for different guns is okay, but I like how they started you off with the M4 because that weapon is no joke. That weapon is probably one of the finer tuned weapons in the whole game, really. So, tips and tricks, as far as that goes, I'm not gonna lie, my favorite class is the Rifleman class, or Assault class, whatever it's called. I like the Assault Rifles the most because they're the most balanced of all the weapons on there. They show diversity in every which way possible. They have each an individual purpose, and I'm gonna go over those here in a second. Next, I will talk a little bit about the shotguns, because people say they're overpowered, which I'm going to tell you a little brief history lesson about shotguns, and then finally why I don't snipe a whole lot in that game. Now, start off with assault rifles. The first one you'll probably get is the AK-12, which I guarantee one of these times I'm going to show you in a video how to use an AK-12 to a different attribute, and it's one of what's the word? Effective natures. You'd be surprised. It can give a Scar L a run for its money. So the AK-12, it's a hip-fire weapon. I can tell you that much right now. And I've noticed something. You'll kill someone a whole lot faster by hip-firing rather than aiming down sights when you're in close quarters combat. It's a little iffy, but I can guarantee you will always kill someone faster if you're aiming down sights and if you're not aiming down sights rather than someone who is in close quarters. Not to mention, I believe the rounds per minute on assault rifles and SMGs when you're hip firing has increased. So, I don't know, it's just an evaluation. I could be wrong entirely. So, to make the AK-12 the hip-fire beast that I call it, it will literally hipfire kills someone across the map. I've done it many times on Tatooine, and I intend to show it in the video. It's just my my internet's a little laggy right now. Oof. Yes. So I use the PKA site. You can use whatever site. It doesn't really affect it much. It's on your preference. I don't add a barrel to it at all. You can add whatever you like, but each barrel seems to decrease it in some stat or another. That doesn't really boost it. Next, you add a vertical grip, and then you add a red laser. The green laser isn't as accurate as far as hip firing goes. So, you can effectively obliterate people in a close quarters environment. In Tank Factory, if you're on the ground level, you will decimate it with that. I don't ever use it though because I have another trick to tell you. AK-12 I recommend to Tatooine, which is the desert map, for those of you who don't know. Then we have the AN-94, which was the power weapon of Core Evolved, but was reduced a lot. And I don't use it a whole lot too much unless I'm probably doing long range stuff. But I have another resolve to that now, so I don't really use the AN-94 unless I'm getting really close and I need something that just kills like that with a hipfire. It's a close quarters hipfire weapon. Long range, vertical climb, very drastic. I mean incredibly drastic. The full auto I know reduces that part of it, but it's not as efficient. But I don't like the fact that how slow each individual bullet goes between each other. It's like a large gap, but it's like... But the bullets don't travel at the same speed. You would expect them to be right next to each other, but they're quite a bit off. So when you have someone lined up for a shot, he could be running in a sprinting fashion, and those 3 bullets won't hit, only one will, the first one you fired. So as far as strafing goes, it's not an effective weapon. It'll kill someone climbing ladders, but that's about it. Next is the Scar L. Now, this is probably one of the most effective assault rifles and probably one of the most popular nowadays because of its sheer power and the recoil with these attachments I'm about to tell you reduces it significantly. It sounds weird, I know, but it actually does work, and the sight does matter for this one. It is the Coyote sight, the green laser, angled grip, and the compensator barrel. These will minimize the recoil to its max potential. If there is another combination that releases out, there you go. But this is the optimized set for the Scar L as of now. Then we have the AUG 1, which is by far one of my favorite weapons. It's a level shooter and it keeps things relatively clean. It's a weak weapon, but I can keep a large consistent burst. God damn it, my camera keeps dying. Son of a bitch. Hold on. There you go, camera's back. One of the weaker assault rifles, but I can keep a pretty steady burst on them. It deals with the compensator barrel, the PKA sight, green laser, and angled grip. Now, people ask what the grips even do. I'll tell you. Well, for one, vertical grip is for hipfire. Folding grip is for aiming down sight recoil reduction. Angled grip gets the best of both worlds, but is less influential, if you will. It's kind of like a happy medium. And then the stubby grip works on SMGs. The little stubby guy, he will make SMG recoil minimal, if not absolutely zero. I don't know what it does for other things, but yeah, it's actually pretty cool. Sorry. On to my favorite level shooter, which is what the M4 was, but now it's been replaced by the G36. Not the G36C, the G36. I use a Cobra sight on it primarily to keep it, a little V-notch. Just aim their head right in there and pow, blow their brains out. Whichever. And the G36 is a very rapid fire weapon. It fires incredibly fast, so I have to remind myself to lay off the trigger a little bit because it will waste bullets. It's a bullet hose. But it's accurate. Incredibly, incredibly accurate. It's also probably one of the more optimized weapons. It's stronger than the FAMAS, fires faster than the SCAR, or fires faster than the FAMAS, is stronger than the SCAR, and I think has less recoil than the AN90, less recoil than the AUG. It's one of those weapons that is kind of like a god weapon. But the M4 is still a god weapon, in my eyes. It's just not as powerful as the G36. And I think they fire just as fast, but I don't know. So I would use, for each weapon, you want like in Faggot Land, which is the map with the crane, you'll want something like the SCAR or the, I want to say AN94 as well for picking off guys on the crane. For Tank Factory, you'll want either the AUG, M4, or the G36. For Tatooine, I would recommend a shotgun or the AK-12 with the listed attachments, because the AK-12 is really effective. Also the SCAR L. And then for the Route 69 map, you can pretty much use anything. It's up to you. Yeah, pretty much. It's one of the most balanced maps. I don't really like it sometimes because of just how open it is when people just go out to the far ranges, but you can pistol snipe with them with the M9. It's pretty easy. Now on to the other categories like shotguns. Here's a brief history lesson. Last time I checked, the only connotation that led shotguns to be short-ranged killers was when Halo came out, and Halo's shotgun was horrible because you would only kill something point blank, but it served a purpose to show that it wasn't detailing every shotgun. An average shotgun's range, believe it or not, when firing 12 gauge or 20 gauge, is about 100 yards. 300 feet. Accuracy. Also, shooting moving targets in the air, it clusters and scatters, making it very effective. Plus, they're not very weak pellets. People think that a shotgun at long range loses its effectiveness. I doubt it. They're about ball bearings this big for slugs that probably are moving faster than a Ferrari on steroids, nitro, and rocket. It's going at roughly about 1,800 feet per second. That's, in 5 seconds, it will travel a mile. Putting holes in you about this big just for an entry wound, and leaving exit wounds about 3 times its size. And that you're in your back. So, people who say the range on a shotgun is incredible, not really. It's in the barrel size. The barrel size increases its accuracy, and if it's spiraled, it'll increase it furthermore because it'll actually knit them into a cluster as they're traveling down the barrel. The Remington 870 is designed and actually is used for hunting birds. It was a military model when the GSG, or German Special Forces, came in and used it, and then the Remington 870 military grade one was then issued. It's not a US issue one though, it's more of a German side. I can guarantee you at 100 yards, if one of those hits you, it's gonna hurt like a bitch. So yeah, long range shotguns, I understand. The KSG though, with its snubby little nose, that one fans out. That's what it's designed to do. Now, one of the weapons that is going to be added is the AA-12. If you don't know what that is, it's a fully automatic Russian grade drum-loaded shotgun with 12 bullets. It fires fully automatically and has a barrel length of about 10 inches on average. It has a foregrip handle to reduce recoil and is probably one of the most effective shotguns to clear room in the world. It has a fire rate of about 650 something, really fast. My point being, this shotgun is going to be added, and I can tell people are not going to like it. Or, well, people are going to like it, and people are going to hate having it used on them, much like the M60. So, that's a little heads up for you. But the range would not be anywhere near as long as the Remington or, say, a Sega. Now the Sega 12 is also going to be added as well. SPAS 12 I believe as well, but that's a really short range shotgun as well. I don't know. Now why I don't snipe a whole lot is because it's not very effective. I'm pretty accurate at it. In fact, I have a no-scoping video of it. I was playing with Saber the other day and it was pretty fun. I just don't do it because if you want to see a sniper, watch someone who does it for a living. I may call them riotful whores, but it's a profession. It doesn't make sense though when you're trying to be fit for a situation. I like to handle myself on my own. Snipers require a team. I don't like relying on that. But I think on Faggot a sniper is actually really effective, and I might try one of my strategies that I did. It was with the Glock 17, and the intervention with the way I have it set up. But for long-range weapons, I really do like the SKS. It's one of the most effective carbines I can find. I fucking hate the Scar H. That thing is just no. I can't believe I spent money on that. Ugh. I used to like it in the beta, but this, no. It's been really nerfed. Anyways, that's really all the tips and tricks I have for you guys as of now in my little history lesson on shotguns. But yeah, I think that about sums it up. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to start uploading again, because, oh my god, it's at 4 bars. 4 bars, guys. I'm amazed. That's been 4 bars since Thursday. Anyways, this is Warpster77 signing out. Hasta.